Melech'ha, ELBAZ, Melech'ha-NY, and to your own dignitary, but especially you asked me to do God. Zdare segment nas SHEDAIASHEIM da SHEM, I'm sorry I taken this long. Gnavret nasiba and blood vessels madly in the SHEM, and JHA'I ELBAZ was chef, and born renachmin matzmarim. Zdach legish vitach hat chmotilim vid, atletish hiat chovami at SHEM. So Rav Tzadok is my Rosh you wanted I to tell you about certain other things. He said that's the point which Dori and Kaula were just discussing and showing what we're having about. It's exactly like it still happens all around. I'm sorry you can't stress in the English. No, I'm so sorry, I hope you'll be fine. That's better. You saw what happened last night. You saw the struggles, you saw the I'm saying, and the extortion they're trying to put in me and to initiate. And the reality to keep on making the same, and everyone still kidnapping, raping, murdering. The flights that went yesterday that I announced and the army had a bit of the info. Who dared to landing, who dared to hijack, who dared to push. And all of the terrorism actions still went on. Today, 17 new flights. It's in New York. Protocol or Newark. For the United Nations, supposedly. To Atlanta, to Dakota, South Internationals. And to John Fisher and Kennedy, also way to LA's Airport International, and what is the Ohio's one, to organizing and making the declarations this are doing. And also they're coming to Geneva, to Paris, to Madrid, to Rome, to Schwelberan, Austria, clandestinely, and to München's airport, which is not Berlin, it's called Berlin, but it's in München. Now, London were in problems as well, and wanted to come to Jerusalem. So, sent 4 flights for around the region, and 1 direct with the airline of Roosbach, which is a private at the condition of charters, services, and executives. Now the reality is that this ELBAZ 310 from Buenos Aires, under the corporation of Bruckels and Ravel, were directed to. So suddenly, Dini and Thomas Interpol already were worried about. The reality of this delivers into Blackie Reflekmont Sachish Maltachla Kiliat Solafle SHEM and Laki Reflekmont Sachmimatika and Seloshevash and Seloshekol and Aktika Reflekmont Naplavesasim. Today they wanted to blast bombs all around and get to make the same. Everything were controlled and okay. But even though everything towards at the same ways, saying that they done to me here, and I will be seeking for his trousers. The clear fact of them making violent through and making violent after and then and through, threatening to murdering US members, governmental members, threatening about to murder United Nations members, at a radical I will still the liar. And that is the person that works, I don't know who, came in the contact, works at what it is, construction and recycling, and normal what processing or recycling and restoring installations for what is structural, is a worker. Okay, friendly camera so the reality were about to abducting me and trying to deliver me in the shape of what they said until I be degenerated and until I do supposedly make the oral chat service. And I'd be found and I'd say I wanted. So the treat, the way, the threatening, the situation, the push, denounce as well, and the generations will cut almost me. And with no glasses, no problem, and no one stopping, to the making still the same and the word exactly every day is making the same until I'd be detained because of I will be in all day the liar and I will blow job enough and I will be because of his harassing and seeking the attention for sex and prostitution with the armed forces men, like we already shown. And gives some forging and saying the coin seekers and the volunteer prostitutes, Kirchners, he's saying that is true. And the rest, the volunteers, prostitutes, evangelicals, normally. So normal, so natural. I didn't receive no thing, I don't have no element for no ties, no tradition, no orders, nothing at designating about no family, about no me. And gives some making the same generations about forging, destroying socially, argumenting, joining forces from anywhere and proceeding with the same. And denying that they do to me and them turn to be me instead me. And evangelicals degenerates with all that interests have shown. I'm going to show the truth here. With the risks, with the problems, and with all that I have been afforded for this to be on that. With everyone struggling and they making the torture enough for whoever to be sensitively destroyed or yield to response to that need and the nature of the mass, for they chaosly proceed about making the meanwhile. Now, the reality is this. Verriedig met matar regis oshefis praktika and sebo bleki rof matseable bis oshef sinidin I bleki ref matcha at salvini at seloshef ishamid Genach matcha krekim salim sorry Revech matseable bis oshef imasera chalat li and seromad ant lemire And the reality of this is exactly the place Macharis Fachman Sam. Immoble que morra fast motle is a sin. Oblegi refach matzeple is a shech machab. Saying that they would trespass and they do kill, using anointment, using people, saying that that will be a prophecy of Lord, and manipulating like witches in the terrains, like Sodom, Gomorrah, and Masonry, like they do. Are the clear fact of what happened yesterday, were the whole night and the night before, and the whole of the day making the wheat done at him, and it's impossible, and this never happened. Cover 8. Like they said, cover 8. Make a cover 8 chain for a very instant for deflecting the attention and making and trying to murder people all over like natural death. Every day is the same, and it's permanently making 4 instants of reasons of diablos, whichever one are. And suddenly the reality of yes, and I love you so much, and I'm sorry. This keeps on making the time, just like, keeps on proceeding without making the same combinations. And until I be able to generate, and they will say, always been and always done. And the layering with Evangelicals generates that I stolen them, the spirit of the heaven. And they will become because of I will done to them. Skel rofach matsia blebesoch habimitzi be'atlakin rofach matsam atlebesvar. Ingomagram and Evangelicals generates profanity to tell them that they will take everything off. And blame the threatened ones. Then and thus for in reality apparently the Suchmon said that as one of the SHEM. In blogi manga the fechel the suspense chef from la inaga the fechel si la and was fossen of the Nastaran. In Bora the Motspa the was SHEM at the name. They mixed witch up in the witch and up in the witch and up in the witch and up in the witch step and any cycle sound of snake whatever just profane me easily. Well, every day is making the same with the devotion and Moshvate and the talisman. The faith will be justifying anything and are sickest than ever. The Larry stolen to bring. I will take the money. I will make it all, and whoever says the contrary, they goes to murder. Everyone, every day. Telling that they will do to me and they will own, as you already know, Mercedes-Benz, Tel Aviv's house, Geneva house, New York's house, and the money that I will steal, and because if I will cheat and lie to everybody and make a manipulation over cheating and lying and compounding you on. And justice and state tries to take money from the state. And once said about what we have been doing from and with Adonai, they're saying who allowed air because of he cannot have nothing of flour, and my place will be a very lust of meat for any father's earth to wanting to make the instant of pleasure. For whoever and whatever to be, and if any dignitary uniformed, if will determine and choose to have me for the reality of the gold fathers that is for pay and cannot be for free. So suddenly the reality of this evangelista de mierda of pre-encarnival Cabrera and Condia Crudo. And the rest associated are still the same. The program are backpens. I want to do Melech'ha, and I'm sorry, what you asked me to, and I said yeah. And also what we done with your women, thank you. And I want you to be part of my love ever. As I knew sharing that one enough, understanding how to win. I wanted to make that for justice parties is a very simplicity. Instrumentals are great for the helping and assisting. And this is not like playing no hero. It's just I love to do the right. I love to help. And I love to do what it is worth it. And God is loving you ever. So, and I'm sorry for the soul. You know, I am found in a so much rare mood and found myself destroyed. And the reality is I want some man that might get me. GAD ELBAZ SHEDAIASHEIM יש לגייר וחידי צחר וסשו אתמתה. גנר וחד מסמות לבספסשים יבתי. אסורך מתמת שמות בספר אמבחו בחמתני. אנסרוך תחלת גיליתי ואת ששמות בת גילי אמר חדם אנו שמות סירי בספר. And this wanted to destroying everybody, and we were avoiding that, the same again. Destroying the world, for there will not succeeding, and nobody would submit. Where murders are over, because of the bodies were saying that they had to attach. And I'm sorry what happened at home. And the realities of nation or friends are every days with problems and disasters. I don't like what came and happening, I don't like the state I come through, where everyday destruction I'm saying until I took hold. And then every day will do what I do, and there will be me training and repeating and reproducing for the control, gestalt, rape, murder, disappearance, and they will be and taking positions in places and threatening with and making the logistics of Sodom and Gomorrah with any talent and any degenerate around, especially on childhoods. Bastardos, hijos del infierno, with the burden of the victims, which kept on making the same and sending to murder anyone which wouldn't answer to them order. Gestalt was so clear. And still is. Now, keeps with the I offensed Christina Kirchner, keeps with the, like we said, if you want the vulgar for the essentials of the life, what happened with these videos that your runners with you and Mr. President wanted I to do criminology. So discussing about Masonry and what this are and this too and how the reality for and through. All through and all brought in the reality as this. The clear of not all, but the threatening and the problem. Forensics, with the whole of the disaster, the ones that suffered. And with the sickness that everyone's around. About to asking to degeneradas víboras, Policía Federal Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, about they will done, and they will be the criminologists and not me, and I will rob them, which kidnapped people, mutilated people, raped people, destroyed people, murdered people for. We have them all, but it's not. It's not a consoling media to telling we have them all and we do, and cannot console me. But neither we to be guilty for. And so suddenly the reality is we do not stop to breathe. For this are going to make a riot and sickness for everything. We to be just meat like livestock from gondola for they to feed themselves and then breed. Gargoyles of hell of Southern Gomorrah and extra. And the reality is how do we proceed about to holding this and trying to avoid this to not happen. Because if we are going to give in for anything they do, we don't breathe at any second extra. And it's over. Because if they are not going to stop, hell doesn't stop. And it's an extortion today and your life tomorrow. And I don't like it. Suddenly, Bentley Happy Hibish Watsika Marechar and Moswas Massa. Kel Roshmita of Bohamachadason of Levisus Nijefim. Gateki Ratich Bishmota Hubo Ataras Mavasos Matnarim. And Revefechat Sechini Vasashmot and Chamatish Bater and Samot Ishlokimarim Atpas. And made the whole of the training and repairing like parrots on Gestalt techniques. So with this. Bastards. For the telling that that will be element enough, and this sic degeneradas, as part of this, in cuerpo médico forense and tribunal is supposed to expertise this. Sorry. Asking to the, the Forces chicks, oh they're so great, come on girl, come on. And asking, tell me, how does it means, I don't know, klupa. And mind control anyone around which can testing. Oh, Blackie Burger with the releases of the oh, and how does it spells? And control being happy sushi. Oh, and that's enough to me. Go. They done it. Because if we know this. And it's the picture around here every day. And the perros that goes to murder for. If any terrorist is saying the contrary, but the problem is few pretends that there's like 4 victims, and the real victims are murdered, mutilated, destroyed, disappeared. And there's to keep on with the same one and with the same extra every day. This picture. So I was signating testimony for 2,000 orders. And I was signating testimony for a little bit further. So suddenly I will be noticed about cases that I supposedly know, even my family, and I wouldn't answer and I wouldn't present myself. So kept on making that derogation of the whole that they said had to be happening. And because if I say I will be noticed, and because if I know I will never have the right natural elemental to be aware to come, even if no orders to be presented at my door. Because of if I have the virtue, I should ever know, if I know this, will it come? And at the referendum for the keep on making up in a class of a sickness, even if I will be face to face telling them, son of a goddamn hell, get that out of my life, and I'm sorry the terms, at severe. Like have done with the degenerada Sorrongo, infeliz hijo del infierno, criminal de cuarta, like the rest all with the pardon of field. And the reality for the putting in order certain other elemental clear fact Well kept and making the same with no stopping and always wear the same hair around. So suddenly, Bentley Kimara Fechuat Sigava Chot Khali Bishbachta Hamatam, Skalbikara Sochish Vasim Oblavis Vasim. Unprecedented is exactly them products and them rectums. And forgive me for this, please. Goldberg Kimara Spechat Khali Bishbach Machat Hamatser and Sevan. Blegima Ravesforatsi Voblas Oshasim Slegmachanasem. Gibson using the lyric clones to tell our child in class about the generation saying, oh, the kiddos, oh, bring the kiddos. So they make the staging all over the world. Whatever the Shia, any demon like those have to say, and also profaning me and profaning everybody, saying that they would have my genetics and my life and my spirit, and they will be glorious in the heaven by the hand of the Evangel Prostis of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the rest, and sorry for the violence. Still with the same. Further that, I told you already, seems like so natural for my days lately, and I'm not feeling so great, I'm sorry. I missed you, and I'm sorry, and I were really worried about you, and I hope you'll be fine. You understand, we understand this is not a game, and this is happening, and we understand this is not the Bleki Reformat Viseshvati Karatispi Atsenon. Am Bleki Reformat Sechal Viker Reformatismat Sabab Bleka Revispi Jevesidi Itzula Kira Pochpat Samatam. Galmot Hamablek Mahara Fechot Hadiki Reforchas Het Schmitzi Vitach Hatachmat and Sotladim. Am Bleko Raf Machal Hadiki Visocha Vishbot Achal Halganasar. Ontle die Rabbe Fohamatzecha Hadiki Ravochmos Vashemas Mati. Ingleki Mohavachti Vishpitza at Samot Sesho. I don't have no resources. Forged my signature for about 802,204,804 documents, making embezzlements around states and international home banking, about Citibank and Switzerland National Bank will ever have to pay to this for about damages and robberies that I will just committing, and also about the state of Israel with the Israel's budget and national treasure, and also the reserve of the state of Israel and Jewish communities in Arab nations. For about $9,904,204,800 to pay to United Evangelicals, Kirchners, UNASUR, Christina Kirchner too pretended to be, Aníbal Fernandez pretended to be, and the whole of the degenerate civil society of Kirchners and armed forces pretended to be an Ejército Argentino, for robberies and destruction, saying that I will confess and I will say in them, and it cannot be denied. And only 3 entities paid with DTIT back for ThreatNet. Liaison office, ThreatNet, for they better to give in and let this taking positions and killing the money and everything they've been doing with me, saying that everything will be a crime, and they will already prove. Now, anything I say and anything I do will be a lie. And from liar, and being exactly what they are, I will be, and they will be me, and they will do what I do, and I will be just what they says. Like Masoneria, Sodom and Gomorrah, which are with them prostitutes evangelicals for power, dignitary patterns, criminology for Masonry, abominables, destroying anybody and everybody for they to be the supreme and superior and in keeping with that image. So do not proceed about what can expose thee, showing who you are and what you do. You can be the highest ever image and the icon for illustrators. So carefully, we have methods, we have intelligence and capacities, and we are superior, so we can handle and maybe witchcraft, terror, the generation, abomination, organization of any perro de cuarta, criminal barato, and any shit around, I'm sorry the word, for what they says superior. And it's exactly what this dedicates to. Then, Venerable Format Sechlin, forgive me, still a little bit fatty, like I told you, Tommy still. And I need Adonai to complete me with you and complete me about the reality of. I asked him and he told me first. I'm sorry. Gel chama blech archinis forver feshucha chalekini blech patzves shofcha matzil. In like me have a formatzech idich lishvasim ofladim. I don't tolerate, I never have, and I want. I wanted around since 2005 and since before, while Bastardo, the General Criminal Barato, Brujo de Guardabrain, and its brother, with them bodies of Sodom, Ejército Argentino were stealing to me. I will never come to Sydney. I wanted to leave. I needed Adonai to come to me. I needed Adonai to put me in orders, and I needed to come where I belong with. Where I belong to. I cannot resist no day more. I cannot keep on living, which is not life. Like I'm coming through. I'm sorry. I didn't receive no thing. I didn't say no thing. I didn't decline. I didn't nothing. It's always the same isolated and business and shares about me. The business of Policía Federal Argentina, Evangelitos Unidos Kirchners, isolating and taking shares while and meanwhile there will be around like a government and there is a civilian and there is an authority and there is something which is rolling and happening when it makes the whole of the shit and I want them all to die. I'm sorry for that. And my terms, okay. Gan radach motzach machlakim boch adachmat vesashon. In blaki rofach motzu atle vesoshech machalitim. In bocha machale vesosmatze vesashai. Gela red chelaki shikacha chalamat matze oplavish vishakid. Aroch mona smol blavivatzika shelo kuo ravesmatir. Atleteshko atif chavachat anasmate shumaf. Tleki rofoch matzachal chimia blevesosvat leshefini. Zloki rofoch machal techni int an ishmi int. Berach matzama. And what I told you about, blekach maflacha vesoshech man leshefini. Zloki bi repech bit snashkiti shika abarabachigiti shkilita. Berofach matzachal mikar rafach alagis valamasash limitishi. Ravach machal chalagisoch matilifisos kivita. Ablagim morafachol chalachat lagimisoch asmati. Ablagim moratach meinashta betartika rafach alagisos moratash mitavisosi. Kablagim rafach matzachal lagivitoch motzas lagisoshvartika marafach alam. So keeps murdering for evangelicals and the delirante bruja of Sodom and Babylonia. Evangelicals United keeps on telling that Lord will use them to defend them and to putting them like Lord will ever attach about the supposed authority and anointed about to be. While friends of ours around here and in UNASUR being delivered with forgeries and invention and lies about for offensing Christina Kirchner and to the government and to Policia and for the supposed shall die. He blocked out me! Like, is a crime but they corrupt and destroy senils for the massive rape and murder and having a house, a car, a business, a corporation, and a family to rape and murder, saying that that will make them career and supremacy and maybe. Keeps them commercializing my DNA, and evangelicals are at the core with Kirchners, still all, and Unasur. Keeps them commercializing my life, my virtue. Do you want to talk that way? Oh, come on. Sir, can you please? Profanations with brujas evangelicas. I keep it. I strip you. I never hallowed you, so I conjure you. Let's pray because of the devil is attacking the church. And right now, let's make it the Blech Mirabesech Shvasim and Blech Mirabesech. Come on, I'm gonna anoint you. Blech Masim, the Chalig Mirabesech Alad, and Seklig Mirabesech Eliseri. How does he not like Mirabesech Besatiti? Like Mirabesech said, Lord, the blemish like Mirabesech. It's about the church. What is of the church, which never happened and will never were and won't be, my life and everything I am, and what I do, and who I exist, and what I produced, about El Adon in us, telling that they has rights to possess the land of Israel with everything in, and determining and choosing what to do with its population and government. And the royalty will be they. With them Sodom and Gomorrah, supposedly them turned to be me. This is exactly the klika marave forch mespat lakim bovras macha vaspat legi soshekarat khalivitini redish mat legi virobafit posfesoshla rabatir mitafes mond lebipati keverobesh vat legi virofat balgis mond besaktika rispelash metach machav levi mofleis vodach mitish legi vitarabo papats adliki vitashpo atakapatik. The Lord gave us a word, and it's a prophecy like Jericho, like Karubes Vesashe, Remasim Shechlaki Kanenam, Rampato, and Desekiva, and Kadek Maravesirali, divine Israeli, and he will be fighting against the whole of the world, and the whole of the world against him. Christology. Christology. Sorry. Yes, very Spanish. Sokleki Moravesechalcham and Mr. President Baragis. Exhaustively tired of them. Skopleki Moravefechol Chaleki min Ravefechot Vitliki Visoshechal Acham Chalki Visosmatim. Gelki Moravefechot Lech Vishoch Lechamatim, and sorry, will be exhaustively. Slumer Revifach Matzem, Bertliki Maravesochash Vasi, Ileki Revech Matzecha Obachelevisot Masesh, Igleki Maret Chalacham, give some threatening if I will tear, and give some murdering people of ours all around, if I will tear to cross lines. And if I wouldn't come to, make the oral child service. And while this all happens, people were kidnapped because of evangelicals to generate one's houses and corporations and belongings, and delivering Lord keep them, or keep them, or kiss them, in base of masonry and witchcraft and the generations, and a Gestalt school, which is the Christianism. Before, and while Yeshua were the power's domain, I don't first, I know it all, it was me. Do you think it existed? If there's not for a power and there's not because of us, I have nothing to say. Sorry for my histrionically tiredness, and I want to kill them. So suddenly this also will become into a demon because of, you still for the anointed. What other elemental symptoms you need for? I'm telling that I don't care about the people that has hungry and needs. Again, while they put above to hosting and robbing and making the trade and the market like Peronism, Kirchnerism and the whole corriente enferma repodrida Argentina, which is the natural usual around. But no one to making some exercise of respect placement and making some dignitary, which is not the term, for the proceed about like naturally respectful, honorable, except the ones that dies because of they says they are the patriotic and rights for ethnics. Culture, nation, science, religion, and F word and kill. And everybody should ever just hang on and hold that because of they will command. So suddenly the reality of this in Blackie Horf of Mansachali Bierres, Pagmashachali Bierhorvet Patas, Parlakimiti, Barret Bireti Shaktika, Havahoba, Kech, Mahaba, Glovis, and Spot Lakima, Fokaliki, Ravach, Levisokish, Vachmatzen, keeps on making the same and profaning me, and they don't keep it, they don't have it, because of this is nothing, and we don't allow, because I'm going to be a homosexual, and not degenerate, and we know that we're doing all we say. See the pictures? And we have the witnesses, we found them all. Making the altar, the witchcraft, the masturbation, and the degeneration, and the offering over oral chat to Sodom and Gomorrah, and telling that is justified about the Lord for profaning me, while they will know what to do or what to not do about like tellers, bruja de Sodoma, Evangelistas Unidos. Victims, I have been fighting and I'm tired, and seems like we have problems all around. And this have done worse than we already saw. And there's the saying that they will take everything around my life already. Robberies, family, and they will afford and kill my mother, my family, and I will get in the streets with the clothing, like a Perro Aníbal Fernández styles, Perro infernal criminal de cuarta, feto vato mansaú, delincuente barato de Sodoma, consider of offended. Keeps on making the any kind of work. 9 million causes, one should work. The rest are all, I'm sorry, we're mistaken. Can we try to research again? We are the Federal Police of Argentina. This is the land. One word, saying that this possessed on anything. And se la hizo, Cristina Kirchner, ¿a quién se la hizo? Los evangélicos se la hicieron. Sorry, that historianism again. Blanky mother with the what's a glass of now. Blood my revef massia revef of me. Kept on saying and making the same and kept on proceeding and the same all about, and I will come to some places and some how's this? The Starbucks place here in Buenos Aires, and also to other coffee shops, restaurants with my laptops, and I will state to them that they will be talking in those places with friends at criminology and others. And also with that, a certain class of dignitary that I will be coming to, 12, Sodoma, Gomorrah, PFA, which keeps on making the same degenerations, and Perro de Carnival y Brain. Of course, it's us, and he doesn't have right to be because of we didn't allow, and it's us that comes to be. We are the authorities. Who is this one? And making the degenerations, so the reality comes through. Bleki rama bleki vagavis ochivis podleki magave fochalivis pagavatsi. Shlemi rama bleki magavis poagaves badlivis os bleki magavis osi. Shlemi kimber tergavet plofesvi and mableki magave fochalivis os levimis achtika. Soblevika rama plechmans and mableki sushika lech pachalekima. Robtevi rama bleki magave fochalivis magave fochalivis os legis pogave fachamatsi. Bleki pogave fochalivis os sek laki magave chual kamagavetam. Soltevis badleki magave fochalivis kalekima magave fochal kavat lechim chavedis.
isti sopla picca formatica barra sichel sosnagi barra taf ish volam roma par rap tu bus plaki diske tak na halbi sochlik